So, Spirit wants me to let you know that you are considered one of the greats. Little did you know, you are considered one of the greats. You are harboring some major power inside of you that you have not released yet. And there's so many people that are anticipating your energy and they don't really know it because they don't know what they're looking for. What you have, they haven't seen. And there's so many of you. There's so many of you. I heard the people want to see who you are when you snap into action in the most private times, but not in a creepy way. It's like, you know, when you act goofy, like whenever that is, I don't know, like if you cook and you just, I don't know, if cooking makes you happy and you start being silly and you just start getting into your own little mood, or like singing in the shower, like that version of you, nobody else sees that but you and God. And many of you would never, ever, ever, ever do such things in front of other people because it's like, no, that's personal. But that's really just you. But that's the part of you that you fear is going to be judged the most. And it's like you fear that people will say something crazy to you and make you feel like you shouldn't have been yourself, when really you would just love to be that version of you at all times. But you hide that version of you just off the strength of the unknown. But let me tell you something. The real ones, they appreciate you for being you, your wild, crazy self. Because I heard it accentuates your fearlessness. Because people who will love that in you, okay, let me put that. I'm hearing multiple things. This happens to me a lot because Spirit's talking to me and there's multiple spirits speaking to me and they all just bombard me at one time. So I hear multiple things. But see, the thing about you is, I always talk about the layers of us as people. We have layers. We're layered people. We're layered beings. And the aspects of you that you keep to yourself, those are the best aspects of you. And those are the aspects of you that make you feel free. And by you exuding your freedom, not caring about what others have to say, you also unlock the true characteristics and the true nature of your fellow brother and sister on earth, or brothers and sisters on earth. Because there's many people that want to act in that way, but sometimes in life it's just like that, where people need to see an example so they can have, it's like a gateway to go through. You know how they say that certain genres of music, certain musicians that paved the way? It's the same thing, I feel, spiritually. There's some spiritual beings that are so powerful that their life is an example of what you truly feel you are inside, but you just haven't let that aspect out of you yet. So it also reminds me of, I don't want to go too far off because I don't want to be off topic, but I'm just going to say it because I'm thinking about, like, say for instance, you know how some children, they have parents that have had like a restaurant from when they were babies, or like some type of business like a laundromat. So they grow up working in the business for their parents because it's like a family business. So they know it like the back of their hand since very young. And that is like a very special gift. I mean, some of those children might not look at it as a gift because they don't want to be working that young. But to have such skills at such a young age, regardless of even if they use them when they get older, it's like it's molding them into being so skilled and they have awareness that a regular child wouldn't have, because they're exposed to such energy and such processes that they grow up seeing things differently. They're just going to, because they've been exposed to the business aspects of life at a very early age. And they don't have to go through the struggles of, finding a job and doing this and doing that, because their family already has a business and they're just like born into it. They're born into, something that is already established, so they don't have to work so hard. It's already, the most difficult work has been done for them. So I say that to say, those children that have that benefit from their, or within their life, they are equivalent to the individuals that will see you and feel inspired, if that makes sense, because I looped around a little bit. I did a little loop-de-loo, but I hope you caught what I'm saying. I hope you caught it. And those who dislike your willingness to show your wild side, to show your comical approach to life, or your humorous side, without caring, like when you do that, it frees something inside of you, because I feel as though there's a part. There's multiple thoughts. I'm trying to, but when you become an adult, there's a saying, there's something I'm hearing at the same time. This is so annoying when this happens, because I'm hearing so many things and I'm trying to pick one, and I want them all. There's something about like leaving childish ways behind, or something like that. And to a certain extent, that is correct. I think it's more so about like timing and being mindful of when you should behave a certain way. Hold on. Escúchame. Un momento. Okay. It's that saying about like leaving childish things behind, but I think it's in the Bible. Okay, there we go. And it's like I agree, but then I disagree. It's one of those things where there's a gray area, because what I'm about to tell you, it must be balanced. You must be in the middle of this space, because if you don't know how to wield in this area, then you're either going to be too rigid or you're going to be a fool. You have to know how to wield it, balance it. Okay. So it says, it's 1 Corinthians 13:11, which says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. I think there's another verse that's similar to that as well, but I guess that's enough. But there's another one, I think, but it doesn't matter. That gets the point across that I'm trying to tell you, because there's other things I want to tell you too, so I don't want to lose track. So you being able to get into that mode of who you truly are, it is your creative. That is your inner creative. That is your inner creator, your creator. Okay? Those are the moments when the most magic happens, because you allow your imagination to take over. When you allow your imagination to take over, you are like so powerful when it comes to being able to be innovative. And as an adult, there's a lot of responsibilities as an adult. So many adults don't find time to play. Nothing's funny. A lot of times, as an adult, not unless you have a personality. Not unless you have a personality where you are humorous. You do have a certain aspect to you that is playful and lighthearted. Because if you are rough and rigid all the time, not only is your heart going to be heavy, you're going to be stressed out, annoyed, and aggravated more than not. So that's why I say, when it comes to childish ways, they may seem childish to some, but it really just depends. Like, it's the timing, because you're not going to act like a child, you know, when it's not time to be acting like a child. And it's more so, it's not even really acting like a child. It's being able to tap into the innocence within you so that you can be free enough to open yourself up to the cosmic flow with that collective consciousness. That's where the juice is at. There's juice. There's juice for you. Okay? It's like, I got the juice. Got me out here acting loose. Okay. Let me get back on track because I'm going to a place. My mind always does that. But see, I think that happens to me because I allow the flow to be open. I just want to teach you guys how to do that. If you feel like you don't know how to do that, I could teach you, but you would really have to, I would have to tell you everything to do to get that flow right. Because the flow is there for everyone. It's not just me and the others that have the flow. It's for everybody, but the flow is usually blocked from many things. And see, I would have to evaluate you to tailor what's blocking you, and I can tell you once I talk to you so we can release it. Now, I do have a mentorship program, and the price did go up. I had informed you all before that the price was going to go up, so it's up now. However, there is a payment plan. So if you're interested in the mentorship program, you can go ahead and put that into effect and put that on your calendar. You know, just keep it in mind. Just know that when you're ready, we're here, Spirit and I. Okay? But back to these messages. You have so much powerful, amazing opportunity that's in your core. It's right there with you, and you can't quite see it, and you're not sure what it is, and you want it, you do, and you think about it, but you can't find it. And there's so many reasons to why you can't see it, you can't find it. There's so many reasons. But when we speak, this is something that I can help you, and I can show you what the problem is and how to uproot the problem and then plant another seed and make it grow. And that way, whatever is blocking you can be removed. Okay? Because that's what has to happen. There's replacements, replenishments. There's so many things that have to happen within your vessel and within your psyche. But once it happens, it's done. I heard cleanup time. It's time to clean up. And even if you cannot be a part of the mentorship program, you know, I get it. And I still do give so much in these videos that I give you that are free of charge. I give so much. And these messages that Spirit and I share with you are very powerful. And if you apply them, they will change your life. They will. But you have to apply it. You can't just listen to me one time. It goes in one ear and out the other, and then it flies away. You can't let it fly. You got to keep it in there. Keep it in your ears. Okay? So when it's in your ear, it goes to your brain, and you got to keep it there. Don't let it fly out. Okay? Because the point is to hold it, obtain it, so you can use it. Okay? But there's so much beauty that's hidden within you, and it's time for that aspect of your personality to be unlocked. I mean, because most of the time it's really about worrying about what someone else is going to say about you. And I know that's aggravating. I mean, you know, but at the same time, it's not worth silencing yourself. It's not worth your own freedom, because when you're not free, how can I say this? When you're preventing yourself from expressing yourself the way you truly want to, that is a form of imprisonment. That's a form of mental imprisonment. And this is what spirit is. We can't have this anymore, because this is making you sad. Like, this type of energy makes you sad. You might not look at it that way, but really think about it. Think about how freeing it feels to just be yourself whenever you want to. And then just know that anybody who comes for you and talks crazy about you, but then you also have to know how to wield it as well. You have to know when to be, see, that's a whole process. However, I feel like majority of you know what setting is the right setting to behave in which way, you know, because you know when it's time to be serious, you know when it's time to play. So once you know that, and I feel like many of you do know that, I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of, because then that means that you're afraid of yourself. That means you're afraid of yourself, and to not care. I just heard to not care. To not care. Why is my window open up there? Just noticed the window's open. Anyway, I'll close it later. But to not care about what others say, it's one of the most important I wanted to say a perspective point, but it's one of the most important realizations that one can have in life. Because if you care about the negativity that people throw at you, you'll never do anything. You would just be stuck in a corner, like just by yourself, stuck. That's not the way that spirit wants you to live. You are to be free and explore your life and your choices, your options, and even explore yourself, you know, because that's what I'm saying. That's what spirit is saying right now. That's what they're giving me, that you have these goodies. You have these special treats inside of you, and they can't wait to be opened. It's like a bunch of unwrapped gifts, and they're just wrapped perfectly, and it's like your higher self can't wait for you to find them. But the only way you find them is to take time with yourself. That's the only way you're going to find them, and to ignore the naysayers. Because if they're naysayers, why do they matter? They don't. They don't matter. They don't matter to you at all. So spirit wants you to know that they don't matter. When you stop yourself from expressing yourself as you truly want to, and in a way that makes you most comfortable, yeah, you avoid being a target, but at the same time, you also open yourself up to those that love you, and they're ready. There's individuals that are ready to love you and appreciate you, but they can't if they can't see you. I remember saying this like last week. Spirit is bringing it up again because it's still a problem. They can't love you if they can't see you, and they can't hear you, and they can't get to know you. Hey, stop moving. What's that? Stuff dropping. Spirit, is that you? But you can't do that, because you really prevent yourself from, I heard, true exposure and true expression. True expression. Your true expression is the most raw, uncut version of you that people fall in love with. That's what that's the good stuff. That's the best part of everybody. The crazy part of us is the best part. Because it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Not unorthodox, but yes. But it's like spontaneous. It's that aspect of you where someone doesn't know what you're going to say next. And that is to be appreciated. There's something very special about that. Because sometimes people are so like straight. Like, it makes me think about teachers who are just like, hello class, so now today we are going to read chapter 7. Wah, 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 wah. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we gotta be in a class with Mr. Ferguson. It's like, oh my gosh. A 30-minute class for like 3 hours. But somebody who switches it up and does things different, it's a magnet. You have the ability to magnetize people with your perspective. Someone who is afraid of change is not going to know how to, or not even going to have a desire to switch things up. They're going to want to stay safe, and they're going to want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It reminds me of the typing class I had in high school, and the the teacher, he spoke like that. And when you learn how to type, you have to have the ergonomics right, so you can sit up properly so your pieces don't hurt. And then you have to align your fingers to where your pointer finger is on the F and the J, and you line the rest up according to the previous keys, and then that you have access to each key that way. So then you learn how to type without looking. So that was one of the most boring classes I have ever had to endure in my life. But I'm still using what I learned in that class right now, today. And I type fast, and I have written hundreds of papers, and I could do it. Like, I could do it. But that class, whew. But I'm thankful for it. But sheesh. We used to literally type one letter for the whole class. And we could not talk. He'd be like, hey. So yes, it was boring, but I did learn, right? But at the same time, we don't have to be bored when we learn. I'm speaking to a lot of teachers right now. The Spirit is telling me. And the world needs you, because we've been bored in the classroom. And if you could just spice up our lives a little bit, that would make our day. Because we want to be engaged. We want to not know what you're going to say next, because you're so crazy that we don't know. And we like that part of you. It's just that spark. I feel like that's a part of the spark. It's just your true nature. Your truest form is the most beautiful, because it's pure. It's pure, and it represents the code that God has given you. You see what I'm talking about? Like, that's that code. And individuals who are in alignment with being chosen because they chose to be, we have the same mission and the same goals, right? But we're still different. And some of us are very similar to one another. We're similar in our perspective and in our mission, but our messages are different because our experiences are different. And our understanding is different because of our environments are different. So the differences in how we were raised, our environment, what we've learned, how we perceive things helps us to be the information. How can I say it? It's like we display information differently, And there's groups of people that align with certain individuals. So the more in tune with your purity you are, the more those who need you will be able to align with you, because they will recognize you. It's like, have you ever met someone and was like, I feel like I've known you before? Like, you're just familiar to me. Like, I know you. I just do. I don't know you from here, though. I don't know you from Earth, but I know you. It's like your soul knows people. Tell me if you've ever felt that before, where your soul is like, I know you. Right? I can't be the only one. Can't be. Don't tell me that, because it's not true. At least I don't think it is. I think that's a feeling that many of us feel. When you meet someone and you just feel like you know them. Like, I know you. Okay? It's just not from here, but I still know you. So, Spirit wants you to release yourself, because this is a part of the imprisonment that many of you are in. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of yourself. Love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more you won't be afraid of yourself. So focus on loving yourself. And you won't fear anyone, because you won't give a damn. Like you said, what to who? No. Because I'm going to do me. Because this is me. And if you don't like it, why you looking? Why you looking? Close your eyes. Turn your head. Because they be looking because they really like it. Hello? Stop. Stop it. See, nobody has time for that. It's strange. And it's ridiculous. And I heard, can we all just get along? Unfortunately not. Because you have those that feel intimidated when individuals are themselves, and they feel some type of way about it because they're not being themselves, or because they start comparing themselves and stuff like that. Because we have to remember, we are in a space that promotes competition and not healthy competition. It's just like the worst competition ever, making people compete with things that make no sense to compete about. It's just ridiculousness going on. And it's a bunch of distractions, really. So, you are a treasure. You are the treasure for many people. And they're like waiting for you, and they don't even know. They don't even know, and you don't even know, because you haven't stepped out yet. Or maybe you step out a little bit. But it's time for it to be a lot of bit. It's time for you to, and only take this if it resonates. Don't get in the comments like, no, don't force me. I'm not forcing you. I'm talking to who's ready. I'm talking to who've been thinking about this, but then they still haven't been moving. That's who I'm talking to. I'm encouraging you. Spirit and I are telling you that we feel you in the spirit, and that we're trying to show you what you're walking into, so you could just walk. And then you can talk. It's time to walk. And then you can talk. I heard break it down. She broke it down. Talk. Okay, stop. I'm going to a place. This happens to me a lot at night and in the morning. Well, really, it could happen anytime. But I feel like that musical aspect of me, it happens when I first wake up, or when I'm on my way to go to sleep soon. But anyway, I just wanted to say that because I felt it at the moment. But yeah, you are a treasure. And you're so full of so much treasure. And it's like the treasure that you have inside of you, it's like it waxes it cleans and waxes the treasures in others. It helps others to feel comfortable with themselves. So, and I did say something like that in the beginning of this reading. It's like, when you're comfortable with you, that means you love you. And when others see how much you love you, it makes them want to also make sure that they're loving on themselves in that way, to also feel comfortable to release themselves from the constraints or the restraints that has been holding them back. It's like you become an opportunity for someone to express themselves when, you know, it's like you paved the way. You paved the way. You are meant to pave the way for many. Honestly, that is a thought that helped me, because I used to feel that way. I used to be like, I mean, I'm a chill person anyway, but there were certain aspects of me that only those who was really, really close to me saw. But it's like, as I've gotten older, I just express myself more, and I feel comfortable with that. I'm still observant in everything, but when I was younger, I was a little more observant, and I think that's why I am the way I am now. I mean, not that I was more, let me say this, I was more quiet when I was younger. I was a little more quiet. Yeah, so I understand that feeling, but I also know that it's a part of what we have to go through in order to escape from avoiding what's true to self, like what's really true to you and how you really want to be. Because most of the time when you want to be a certain way, you don't, is because of someone else or what you think someone else might say or do. And this is what Spirit doesn't want for you. I mean, as long as you're not like intentionally trying to hurt anybody or disrespect anybody, there's nothing wrong with you just tapping into self. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the best thing you could do for yourself, because it promotes and encourages happiness. I think it's the most miserable when one is trying to just be something that they think someone else wants them to be. That's very miserable, you know, because it's not real. It's not real. It's not what the person really wants to do, but they're just doing it because they think that they should. For others. You know, that's that people-pleasing trick. It's like a trick on the mind. It's like you play tricknology. You get tricked, like you trick yourself into thinking something that's not and sticking with it, instead of really doing what you want to do. So yeah, you know, like I said, as long as you're not hurting nobody, as long as you're not intentionally trying to get at somebody, you know, without cause, then go ahead, do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing, okay? All right. That's all I have for you for this reading or message. That's all I have for you. Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember the creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're a magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.